Richard Gere, a silver screen icon, an unforgettable leading man in films like Pretty Woman, An Officer and a Gentleman, and Chicago. Oozing charm, textbook charisma, and a career that has spanned decades. But be careful. Behind that gentlemanly smile lies a determined man with strong opinions and a few unresolved grudges. Because yes, even someone like Richard Gere has his dislikes. Some silent, others that turned into full-blown public feuds. And today, I'm taking you behind the scenes of the three people Gere just can't stand. And no, it's not just about professional jealousy or different acting styles. The stories you're about to hear made noise, sparked controversy, and ignited fan debates. Ready? Let's dive into Richard Gere's most viral feuds. Let's start with the first name on his blacklist, Sylvester Stallone. Yes, him. The man who brought Rocky and Rambo to life, the epitome of the 80s macho movie. Things between him and Gere went downhill from the very beginning, and it all blew up on set. Specifically during the filming of The Lords of Flatbush, where both had been cast. Two up-and-coming actors, two already sizable egos, and a scene that ended worse than a bar fight. It's said that Gere and Stallone had clashing personalities. Stallone, blunt, competitive, a my way or the highway kind of guy. Gere, more reserved but very headstrong and unwilling to be pushed around. The breaking point? A bizarre incident. During a break on set, the two were eating in a car. Gere, holding a chicken sandwich, supposedly spilled some sauce on Stallone's pants. Stallone didn't take it well. Harsh words and shoving reportedly followed. Years later, Stallone recounted the scene in an interview, and he certainly wasn't diplomatic. He said, and I quote, "I can't stand Richard Gere. There's a princely air about him I just can't tolerate." He added, "It was him or me." And guess who dropped out of the film? Spoiler, Gere was replaced. From that moment on, never another movie together. Never another public appearance side by side. And a rivalry that still raises eyebrows among old-school Hollywood fans. The second name? Buckle up, because this one's more like a Cold War in the world of cinema. We're talking about Clint Eastwood. Two cinema giants, two completely opposing worldviews. Gere, always involved in social causes, a human rights advocate, vocal critic of the Chinese government over Tibet. Eastwood, a staunch patriot, outspoken conservative, fan of the Western genre and law and order. And when those two worlds brushed up against each other, fireworks ensued. It all reportedly started in the mid-2000s, when Gere made public statements openly criticizing the Bush administration and American foreign policy. Eastwood, who at the time was directing American Sniper, apparently found those remarks anti-American and inappropriate. He didn't hold back. At a press conference, he said, "There are actors who should stick to acting and stay out of politics." No names were mentioned, of course, but there was little doubt about who he meant. Gere, not one for tabloid spats, didn't reply directly. But in more than one interview, he made it clear he had no patience for people who use patriotism as a shield to justify violence. And the jab? Some make movies to reflect, others to sell flags. Boom. Since then, no collaborations, no shared awards, and frosty atmospheres at festivals where both were guests. Two cinematic legends who respect each other from afar, but who could never be in the same room without tension. And now we come to the last name, perhaps the most surprising, the most painful, the most talked about, Julia Roberts. Yes, her. The eternal Pretty Woman, the perfect partner in the film that catapulted both of them into the Hollywood stratosphere. They seemed like the perfect pair. But the truth behind that modern fairy tale is very different. And maybe, because people loved them together so much, the fallout is even harder to forget. The first red flag came years after the film's release. In an interview about her time on set, Julia Roberts said she initially didn't want to work with Gere. She found him too distant, too serious. "He made me feel like a little girl," she said with a laugh. But to many, it sounded like a nervous laugh. Gere, for his part, didn't hold back either. When asked if he'd ever do a Pretty Woman sequel, he replied, "I don't think there's a need to revisit the past, especially when that past was tougher than it seemed." Apparently, things had been tense between them from day one. Gere is known for his very disciplined approach on set, while Julia, barely in her 20s at the time, was full of energy, spontaneity, and improvisation. The two clashed often, especially over style and pacing. No shouting matches, of course, but that kind of silent tension that makes the air heavy. And even though they made an effort to appear close during the film's promotion, the distance was obvious. Some say they never really liked each other. Others claim an initial fondness turned into mutual irritation. But the fact remains, after that massive hit, the two never worked together again, except years later in the lesser-known Runaway Bride, where there seemed to be a kind of cold truce just for the sake of the script. But the chemistry? That never came back. So what do these three stories tell us? That even behind the brightest smile and the most captivating gaze, there are real tensions, human conflicts, and a personality that's not always easy to handle. Richard Gere is not one for compromise. He believes in what he does, he has his convictions, and he doesn't change them just to please everyone. And in Hollywood, that doesn't always earn you points. Sometimes it earns you respect. Other times, powerful enemies. Whether it's over a spilled chicken sandwich, a political disagreement, or chemistry that never clicked, these three stories show us the more human side of a star. Not the fairy tale Richard Gere, but the real one, with his rigidity, his principles, and yes, his openly admitted dislikes. So, what do you think? Were you expecting these names? Are you surprised? Let me know in the comments and share your thoughts on Richard Gere. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel, because every day we bring you explosive confessions and behind-the-scenes stories from the world's most iconic stars. See you in the next video.